All right, hello everyone.
Hello
We're Slow
everyone.
Starters.
We are slow starters.
Okay, Yuta, can you tell me what this show is about?
Again, of course.
Every time.
So our concept is slow starters. It's also
Yeah.
our title of the show.
Yeah.
Slow starter means in our life, it's never too late to try anything new. So we want to always try to encourage new challenges. So that's why we have the great guest today.
Uh-huh.
Someone who is always challenging and doing new things and pursuing her dream. So I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm really stoked too, to be honest. I actually never met her in person. But Yuta told me, actually show me the video, her video on Instagram. And I kept watching it. And I recently watched her YouTube video, which is also quite inspiring. I think we can we can be really enjoying the time of our recording today.
I was so excited that once we decided to invite her and she accepted. So I couldn't even sleep yesterday. I'm not joking, by the way.
He's like, no, just kidding. Yeah. So could you tell me a little bit about the guests that we're featuring today?
Yes, so today's guest, someone I'm really excited to introduce. I'm so glad that she's here today from Hong Kong. So she's based in Hong Kong from mainland China. Her name is Kate. Kate is a stand-up comedian. Before comedy, she worked in a high-paying finance job. But one day, she decided to make bold decisions to leave her well-paying job.
Yeah.
That's crazy, no?
Yeah, that's crazy, yeah.
So she started to follow her true passion, which is comedy.
Yeah.
Making people laugh. And she's now sharing her contents, her journey on YouTube, Instagram, and Red Hot.
Red,
you know Red Hot?
The Chinese version of...
Red Books. Sorry, Red Books. Chinese Instagram, yes. So that's how actually I discovered her first.
Yeah.
When I was, do you remember I was going to, Zurich?
Yeah.
Couple of days before I was, watching on YouTube shorts, and somehow her content came up.
Yeah.
And it was basically, this is why I quit 200K, salary, their job, leaving her job and to pursue comedy. And then I was like, oh, I'm kind of in a similar situation. I left, well-paid job. I was very comfortable, but I decided to pursue my own dream. So that's why I started to watch the video. And then suddenly oh man, I really want to talk to her. I can learn from her. And then immediately I sent a message to her, DM.
Yeah, you told me that.
Hey Kate, this is Slow Starters Yutori. I know it's crazy. I'm going to Zurich, but there's a layover between, Zurich and then between Hong Kong to Japan. Maybe 8 hours. And I said, it's early morning, but would you be able to meet with me to talk about the podcast? Or I want to really know about your story. So that was the beginning. And then we met in the Hong Kong airport 2 hours right before the, airplane, departure. So that's how I met. And then I'm so excited to invite her.
Yeah, that's a long story, to be honest. We were supposed to explain how you actually met in after introducing Kate, but now you're kind of explaining everything. So.
I know, but I'm so pumped. I'm so pumped. So
I know. I can tell how excited you are right now. So the great thing is that Kate is on our show right now. We're using the app called Riverside, and we're gonna be switching the footage from the camera to the PC.
Here.
Hi, Kate.
Hi.
Hello, Kate.
Hi, guys.
Sorry for the long introduction.
Oh, no worries. It was a nice recap.
Recap, yes.
Yeah, nice. So thanks for being part of this show. We were so excited, and Yuta told me about you quite a bit, on and off.
All the
And
time. Don't worry.
we have watched your content quite a bit, and we do have similarities that, like, we quit our, like, the big company, big corporation, especially around this age, and became freelance. And we also have been facing kind of like a financial challenges and
yeah,
stuff
absolutely.
here and
We
there.
all know the pain. We all know the pain.
So today's goal is to, of course, introducing you, what kind of person you are, like what kind of life path you have made so far, and kind of like, try to ask so many questions regarding how you deal with all those like difficulties, and then your hope in the future, stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, happy to share.
Yeah.
Yeah, before we start, I just wanna kind of set the tone of the show today.
Oh, yeah?
So I'm also one of the fan of Kate now since May, and I'm sure there are many people who have struggles in their life and then trying to make bold decisions, big decisions.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's hard, or getting external pressure.
Right.
Be in difficult conditions, anything. So I think this episode can be really useful and insightful for those people who have same kind of experience with us or with Kate. So
100%.
let's try to dig deeper.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Sounds good.
Right. So first of all, probably my introduction was a little bit too, I don't know,
Sorry, I'm gonna cut a little bit.
unbalanced. So maybe for those people who don't know about Kate Hu, maybe you can start your kind of your life path, explaining your life path, where you were from, what was your childhood like,
Yeah.
and then also we want to ask about your career path as well.
Okay, yeah, for sure. Yeah, so I'll just talk about myself a little
Yep.
bit. Okay.
Yes, and then maybe we can ask shoot some questions as well. So
Okay.
go ahead.
Yeah. So well, hi everyone. I'm Kate, and I'm originally from mainland China. So I grew up there, and then when I was 17, I came to Hong Kong for university education, and then I just stayed in Hong Kong ever since. Now I'm 30 years old, so I've been in Hong Kong for 13 years. So it's like, yes, it was actually a big change for a 17-year-old kid coming from mainland China to Hong Kong. It's the culture is very different, right? So
Yeah.
And in university I studied math and engineering, because I was always quite good at school. So and at that
I can tell.
at that time everyone studies science. If you're good, if you can study science, why would you not? Right? So I studied science, studied math, engineering, and after graduating I just got into finance because Hong Kong is just a huge financial hub, right? And
Yeah.
it used to be, right? So now, so now I'm working in finance, and then I thought it was like a pretty good job. It was paying pretty well, and I can go out, with my friends. I can, just go to any restaurants in the city, and so yeah, I'm a grown up now. I can spend money on these things. But I thought that was the life that I wanted to have, because when I was young, I watched TV, and then I'm like, oh my god, it's so good to be a grown up. You can just hang out with your friends and then buy stuff, and then go to fancy restaurants. So yeah, that was the life that I lived, right? I was living at that time. But then just slowly, I slowly started to feel the drag of work, because I didn't really enjoy what I was doing, and I think more importantly, I couldn't really figure out why this work that I'm doing is important to me. I really care very little about the work that I was doing. But obviously, when I felt like that, I wasn't, I wasn't performing poorly, but I think it was probably pretty mediocre, to be honest, for my standards. Because I like to, growing up, I always want to be at my best, but when I was at that job, definitely I was not at my best, and I was kind of trying to get every day, just get this over with, every day, just get past, so I wasn't very engaged, so that just made things worse. And I was, working a very male dominated environment in finance, right? Because I was working on trading floor, so everyone else was you know male, right? Especially white Caucasian men. And at that time, I had very my communication skills were also not very good, so I had a lot of struggle there. So basically, it was just a very vicious cycle, and then I was drinking and partying as an escape, right, over the weekend, from the week. Yeah, but then I didn't realize, the week is actually the main part of the week, right? It's Friday, so I was kind of relying on Friday night, Saturday night, right, Sunday morning, just drink, and then every Monday I go back to work, it just feel worse. So just like a vicious cycle of like, very, very bad, mental and physical health routine. And and then I ended up finding out that I had a lump in my left breast, and then I was so scared. I was like, oh my god, that maybe I'm dying. So I went for checkups. So it was like a lengthy process of like, doing a ultrasound and then biopsy and then waiting for the results. So every week I'm like, okay, am I dying? Am I dying? Am I dying? So I was super worried back then. And then I was kind of convinced that I had cancer, because I looked up on Google, and then there's Google's like, yeah, if your lump is this kind of shape, then most likely you have cancer. So I was kind of convinced. And I was already thinking, okay, what am I going to do if I had cancer? I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to, travel around the world. And then, I'm going to tell my boss to fuck off, that kind of thing, right? I have this mental, image running in my head. And then, I found out it was benign. And honestly, I was like, yeah, that's good, but what do I do now? So I gotta just go to work tomorrow.
You were so ready to quit your job. That's the time.
Yeah. Honestly, I felt a sense of relief when I was picturing my life after having cancer. I was like, yeah, okay, that actually sounds pretty good. So when I found out that I didn't have cancer, so I'm like, oh, okay, so back to reality, just go back to work tomorrow, just resume the old life. So I felt kind of bad, didn't feel very good. And then I started therapy. I started doing therapy, and then we started to work on this whole struggle, like of like why do I hate my job so much? But honestly, at that point, I didn't immediately decide to quit my job. That probably took another 1.5, 2 years, until I felt until I felt more at peace, and more at peace with my life, with where I was, and then I left my job. And after that, actually, I took a 3-month break, and then I actually worked for another company for 1.5 year, and that's the last job that I had. So it wasn't that this whole story, isn't as simple as what I said in the YouTube video, because I couldn't fit in such a long story. But it's a long journey, so it's like
got it.
yeah, basically.
Thank you for sharing. I already have many questions. But before we start, I know Tatsu has a kind of similar background. Like you from China. Also, you lived in Hong Kong. You studied in Hong Kong.
So I was born in China. My mom's Chinese and my dad's Japanese, but my dad was also born in China after World War II.
Your mom was born in China?
Yeah, my mom's Dongbei. She's from Shenyang. Yeah. I was born in Beijing. Yeah. My dad was born in Dalian, 1948. When my family, my dad's family moved to China during the World War II. And then they decided to stay in China. So I have a Chinese background in my blood.
Okay.
And I was also doing an exchange program in Hong Kong for about a year, from the year of 2011 to 2011 to 2012.
So maybe that's a little bit too early for Kate going for the party and.
I was
working maybe at the time.
I think the biggest difference is I was partying quite a lot, but I didn't have a lot of money, so I did a lot of a house party.
Okay. I mean, in Hong Kong, we do
money.
that as well. When you're like a student, you go buy alcohol from 7-Eleven and then just stand
or
on
welcome
the street. And you can party as well. Yeah, I know. I used to do that.
So that's my brief life. My life is more like a little bit more complicated. Well, as in I was born in China, but I came to Japan when I was 2 years old. But I went back to China because my dad's work when I was 5 years old, and I came back here around 13 years old, and then I went to Australia and Canada and Hong Kong and came back to Japan.
Oh, that's
so it's a bit of everywhere.
Yeah, I was wondering because your English is so good.
Well, I guess I can't argue something in English. I always lose.
But it sounds pretty native to me.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Maybe you went to international school, something like that.
My university was kind of international. And I was dating a Canadian girlfriend for 6 years.
Woohoo!
That's probably how I picked up English.
That's way too.
I think when I was in Hong Kong too, I was quite focused on using only in English. So I think that also helped a little bit.
Do you speak Chinese then?
一点点.
Because I thought you.
Should we switch to Chinese?
You grew up in. I mean, you went to Beijing when you were 5 and you left at 13. So I thought you might have learned some Chinese.
Yeah. I went to Japanese school, but then my mom's relatives are all from China.
Yeah.
So I learned Chinese back then, but it's kind of embarrassing. But my Chinese is only get a little better when I get drunk.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah, the same with my Cantonese.
That's my a background briefly.
Very interesting background.
So
Yuta, well, I have also questions, but I guess you can start.
Yeah. So by the way, very interesting story. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, maybe we can start with the kind of touch on when you were when you found out that you might have the cancer, and suddenly you kind of realize in your life what you are doing is probably you don't like it, and there's something that you want to pursue. So maybe can you little bit talk about at that moment, now you have limited time, or the life is not infinity, and you said you want to have the journey about travel, but other than that, is there anything that you thought about pursuing or finding new things?
Mm-hmm. You mean when I thought I had cancer?
Yeah.
What what did did I want to pursue anything? Um,
Yeah.
because at that
Even the after
okay,
you
okay,
found that.
right. Well, because at that time when I thought I had cancer, my life was very boring. My life was very simple. So I didn't really have much.
Mm.
I didn't really have much hobby. I didn't really have a life outside of work, other than maybe drinking, partying. It was more like an escape, not a hobby. So I think when I thought that I might have cancer, other than traveling, I wanted to I think an idea that I had was I wanted to write a book. I wanted to write a book
Write a book.
about my life.
Oh,
Because I
nice.
was like, yeah, now I'm gonna be like a cancer, patient or whatever. So I thought that would be something interesting. Something that could be inspiring to other people, or and that could be meaningful. So that was the idea that I had. Well, but I ended up not having cancer. So
Mm.
but after that, after I knew I didn't have cancer, then really I just wanted to expand my life a little more. I didn't immediately find hobbies like comedy. I was trying a lot of random things. Yeah, I learned skateboarding. I was learning skateboarding for a
Wow.
while. Yeah, I
No.
know. Yeah, just like a bunch of random things, and I was taking piano lessons. So yeah, so I was trying like these
Wow.
different things. Yeah, and then just one thing led to another. I just tried comedy. I was, oh, this is fun, and then I just didn't have time for other stuff anymore. So that
Can
was
can you
yeah.
can you a little bit talk about more like how did you find out the comedy and passion? What was the reason that I don't know, you started the career with comedy?
So
The mo-
comedy, right? So comedy, I I think I always love I love to make people laugh when I was a kid, but I didn't really pay too much attention to that because at that time that's not nobody would think of it as like a skill that you could make
mm.
a living from, right? So when I was a kid, I like to recite these funny stories that I watched on on TV, right? And then I remember one time I found a DVD in my at my grandpa's place, and then and I played that DVD, and it's like a guy who's telling funny story. It's kind of like the Chinese stand up, Chinese
Mm.
version of stand up. So he's like telling like a funny story, and then I just remembered that story, and then I told it to my grandparents, my parents, and they were like, "Oh my God, you're so funny!" And now every time we have like a family gathering, and they'll be like, "Hey, you tell that story again, tell that story again." So that was like my first taste of like, oh, I can perform things and then make people laugh. That feels really good. But I never really tried to develop on that. It just study just got busy, and when I went to college, I was staying in my hostel quite a lot. Like I was like watching a lot of TV, and then I found this show called Seinfeld. Maybe you guys have seen it. Seinfeld, Jerry Seinfeld, very famous comedian in America. So
Mm.
I watched that show, and then so that show is basically like it's kind of like a story of his life. So he will, there will be like little stories here and there. They will act it out, but then at the end and the beginning, there will be clips of him performing comedy, because basically the show is about his life being as a comedian, right? So that was probably the first time I really took a close look on what stand-up comedy is. And then
Mm.
I thought that was, this is very interesting. This guy just just goes on stage and then talks about his life, and he talks about, oh, women are like this, men are like this, and kids are like this. And I was like, yeah, these are, it's quite funny the way he says it. And I laugh. I was like, yeah, this is funny. And then I found this other show. It's called Louis, and it's basically a similar show as Seinfeld, but it's made by another comedian. His name is Louis C.K. I don't know if you guys know him. So he made a show like that, and then he also put in his bits in that show, and that completely blew my mind because his sense of humor is just I found myself connecting to his sense of humor quite a lot because he tells these very dark jokes. Like I remember one of the jokes that I remember very, very clearly was that he was talking about how if he had sold his car, then he would have saved 5 African children from dying, this year. But every day he chooses not to do that, and every day he's killing 5 African children by not selling his car. But it's not like, it's like when you hear that, you're like, I was like, yeah, actually everybody does that, but then we don't, we don't really admit this kind of darker side of ourselves, or the selfish side of ourselves. Like, I care about them, but also I want to have a decent life. I don't want to give my life to them, right? That kind of thing. So that was really, that I was really just mind blown by this kind of the art form that you can actually voice out these, darker side of yourself. And when you tell a joke like that, the audience will also feel a sense of relief because, there's another person who thinks like that. So it's like it really just resonates with me that I don't have to, because I feel like a lot of us, when we go through life, day-to-day life, we try to hide the dark side, the dark thoughts, right, from other people. We only want to show the good side, the positive side. And comedy, I think, is the only place that you get to just talk about these things that nobody talks about. So that one really just, I really fell in love with comedy because of that show. And then I went online and I watched so many of his previous specials on YouTube, and I was like, oh my god, this guy is amazing. And I was reciting a lot of his jokes to my friends, and my friends got tired of me. Like, why are you stop telling us terrible jokes? Anyway, but I didn't know that there was open mic there, or there was comedy in Hong Kong that I could try at that time. But my friend introduced me this other guy who was also very interested in comedy, who also was a fan of Louis C.K., the same comedian. And then we connected so much. We were like, oh my god, this is so good. And then a couple of weeks later, he told me that he went to an open mic. I was like, wait, what? You just did it? So I was like, oh, send me your video. So I was like, very curious how he did. So,
Wow, that's
I can kind of get a preview of like, maybe I can do it, So I went to watch him a couple times, but I was always like, no, I can't do this. I can't do this. And then one time he's like, you gotta do this, Kate. You're so funny. I was like, really? and then I just thought to myself, okay, maybe I'll just challenge myself to just try it once, and then it just,
How was it?
it was,
How was it?
bad. Very bad. what do you expect? I had no experience and I had no idea what to talk about. So I didn't know how to write a joke. I didn't know, what I should write jokes about. So I just wrote, I remember I was talking about Donald Trump because that was the thing I
Wow.
was talking about. But honestly, it wasn't really relevant to my life. But at that time, I didn't know. But I still went. I performed, and I had two friends. I had two friends coming to support, and they left. Obviously, they were like, yeah, you're good, yeah. But I knew they were like, yeah,
Such a supportive friends.
yeah, very supportive
We
friends. But after the first time,
we
I was like, yeah, this doesn't feel that bad. I thought I would fail so badly, and then I would never want to do this again. But
mm,
it didn't feel that bad, and I just thought, maybe I'll try it again. Yeah, so I just started doing it.
wow. We kind of know, what stand-up comedy is because we had a guest, also stand-up comedian Meshira. So he also kind of talked about when he started his career. He went to open mic and then nobody was laughing, and he thought, "Oh, I wanna be dead." Like,
Yeah.
like
Also, like the only guest one time there was the only guest because that was like right after the COVID thing.
yeah,
And then the only guest is basically a family, but then they're like hardcore Christian. And then Meshida, the stand-up comedian, was preparing the joke about Jesus, and then he didn't get a good review after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he been through a lot of tough
time, yeah.
clouds.
Yeah.
But yeah, actually, when I was in Hong Kong back in 2011, one of my close friends from UK, he was also doing the exchange program in Hong Kong University, and then we became like really good friends. And then he tried the open mic one time,
wow.
and then he basically made fun of me, my
You?
style, and
Yeah.
everything. And if a lot of people laughed, then I was like, yeah, I'll be happy, but then nobody laughed, so I felt bad. Immediately felt like I was not a good, funny person. So I can tell like my friend was shaking because he was so nervous because it was
Oh,
his
yeah.
first time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like I'm quite surprised that you didn't feel that you didn't do that bad.
I mean,
the first time, and then
I felt bad, but then I don't know, somehow the the desire to do more maybe just, just overshadowed the feeling of failure. So I just thought, yeah, just try it again then. Yeah. I
yeah,
mean, it was
that's
a struggle.
awesome.
It
Yeah.
was still a struggle to go on stage. But I don't know, somehow I just had this compulsion that I gotta do this again. Yeah.
Wow. So in your story, you were just a fan of the comedian, but then became comedian. Actually, try to do the open mic, but then like now you are pursuing a comedy career. As you said before, comedy is not skill. By the way, it's a skill. It's touching on many sensitive topics, difficult to talk, but make a laugh. That's
Yeah,
amazing
yeah.
skill. So from just doing open mic, how you started to pursue actually comedy as a career?
Okay. Honestly, it's honestly still something that I'm struggling with. It's comedy is not something that's very easy to make a living from. Honestly, right?
Mm.
If you're not like a big star, if you don't have like hundreds of thousands of followers, then it's really quite hard because you want to sell. How comedians make money most of the time is by selling tickets, right? So if you don't have
Yeah.
that many fans, then it is kind of hard. Um, at the beginning, when I just started doing comedy, I never thought that I would even try to make this a career because it just seemed so impossible. But I guess
Mm.
how I started to have more hopes on this was, when after I quit my last job, then I started to produce my own shows, and then I started to sell tickets every month. I don't, it doesn't make me that much money every month, but it's something. And slowly I found that, I can actually try to try to get corporate gigs, private gigs, or I can even get gigs as an MC and not just a comedian.
Mm.
So these are like different ways that comedians can make income from, besides doing these
Interesting.
normal stand-up shows. And that's actually something you have to do as a not famous comedian who's not famous yet. So it really just got me to be more creative in terms of what kind of avenues of income that I can come up with. And now I'm also trying to do some training for say NGOs or like corporations, on speaking, public speaking, storytelling, and see if there's if there's like a line of business that I can open up.
Wow.
Yeah. So really, there's a lot of trial and error, right? Unlike having a very stable job, you just do what everybody has been doing. So everything's very certain. But now it's like everything's very uncertain, and then you need to be kind of on your feet and kind of trying to come up with solutions as problems come. Yeah, really, that's how it is.
That's
Yeah.
yeah. That's exactly what we are doing too, huh?
Were you, if you don't mind me asking,
Yeah.
about like when you quit the job? Of course, you were a bit hesitant to quit because like really well paid job, stable job, like is something that we always wanted in our life. But then you were kind of like in the video. I remember you saying like you really, really hated the job.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that was more my first job, but the second job, it's like I knew I didn't like it. So the feeling of hate wasn't that much for the second job because I guess I was older, I was more mature, and then I knew
Right.
that's just pure hate. That's just
Were you
yeah.
were you scared when you
When
quit the
when I
job?
quit, oh
Because
yeah,
if you,
for sure.
yeah,
Very scared because it's kind of like I'll say this, like sometimes when you're swimming, when you don't know how to swim, and then you go to the swimming pool and you're like, oh my god, don't don't let go, and then when you actually just let go, you'll find that, oh shit, it's actually not that deep. Maybe the water here. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like that. It's kind of like that.
Wow.
I
when
see.
when I quit my job, when I was trying to quit my job, I was, oh my god, like, I'm gonna have no income, and then I'm gonna, die, right? And all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. But after you quit, then you find, oh, there are just things that you need to do to make money. Uh, but previously, when you are at a job, then you're kind of in your comfort zone. Then a lot of the solutions, you won't be able to come up with these solutions because you're in your comfort zone, and then you have a lot of restrictions. You tend to be, oh, I can't do that, I can't do that, I can't. But when you're out of a job, when you need money, when you need an income, you're like, yeah, I'll do anything. I'll do anything. So I definitely found my standards for, like, what I do and what I not do just loosen up a lot. Now I'm like, yeah, I'll do a lot of things. I can try a lot of things.
Yeah,
Well,
one of the job that you did was like a dog sitter
oh
or
yeah,
a dog
yeah, I
walker.
said dogs. I said dogs. Yeah, it's very funny.
Oh yeah.
Gives me material too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can resonate with like what just Kate said.
Yeah.
Especially like when right after we quit our like a stable job. Well, we definitely thought we're in the comfort zone, and we have well, I wouldn't say no, but we didn't have a lot of motivation to do something new. Something like big you know, or like pursue our own dreams or whatever, because everything is stable and feels very safe. But as soon as like we quit, everything's so new, and then like you just said, like, oh, we'll take it, like I'll take that job, it's okay. I know it's not well paid, it's all right, I'll take it, let me do it, like, and try to get more connections.
You try to pretend let me think about it. You know
you want to do it,
you know you're gonna take it.
It's always like, you know, long-term vision versus kind of short-term kind of goal, that the short-term things, like you have to make, you know, money.
True.
Right? So it's kind of be in a dilemma. You know, you have to have the long-term vision, but if you chase only long-term vision, then like you are basically dead.
Yeah. Was everything really clear in terms of the goals? Like, you know, let's say your definition of being successful as a, for example, comedian is already set. All right, if I earn this much, then I'll be successful. I would feel safe. Was it clear?
You mean now or back then?
Or like when you quit?
When I quit, honestly, when I quit my job, I wasn't trying to be a comedian. I was trying to be a coach. I'm still a coach now. I still do coaching now, but back then I was trying to do more like career coach. I was trying to be a career coach. So that was what I was trying to do. So income wise, maybe I was trying to, you know, obviously I was trying to match my income when I had a job, right? But, you know, slowly I realized it's really not helping. It gives me a lot of pressure. So I stopped doing that. But yeah, so after I quit my job, and then I started to think of different ways to make money. You know, I started to make some money from comedy. I'm like, oh yeah, comedy is pretty good too. I love doing comedy more actually. But still now, you know, for me, it's still, you know, I spend a lot of time in comedy, but then the revenue I get from comedy is really much less than the other things. So, and also now I don't really, I try not to, you know, in terms of goals, I want to set goals on more like, you know, how I want to, the kind of person that I want to be in the future, you know, like the kind of mindset I want to have, you know, how I want to cheer myself up when I fail, like these kind of things, that these are more like the concrete goals that I have. But in terms of, you know, exactly of how successful I want to be as a comedian, you know, do I want to be on Netflix? Do I want to have a million followers on Instagram? Like these things, I want them. I want that. But then I don't want to put it as like a very, you know, there's something that's, you know, that I have to achieve to feel safe, to feel good about myself, because I just found that to be not helpful. And also what I'm trying to learn to be okay with is that it's okay, you know, even if I don't achieve any conventional success in life, you know, I'm still a good person, you know, I'm still okay. I can still be okay with that. And whatever I do achieve, I do accomplish, that's a bonus, you know. But what's really important is the journey, you know, what kind of attitude I adopt, you know, on the journey. This is what I'm trying to learn to to live life with, you know, this attitude. But you know, it's still a learning process, because sometimes I get caught up, and then I find sometimes the desire to accomplish, or like too much of a desire to accomplish, it makes me very impatient, and I'm constantly questioning, why am I not there yet? Why am I not successful yet? And it just makes me
that's us
not feel very good, you know. And this is supposed to be
all the
fun,
time.
right? So it's supposed to be enjoyable, instead of another another, it just, in the end, if I think like that, then this just becomes another corporate job that have to be like, oh, KPI, you gotta, you're not meeting your KPI this month. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have what do you have external pressure by pursuing, unorthodox kind of way? I think your way of living is kind of unique compared to other people who
Very
have
unique, yeah.
just yeah. I don't know. Do you feel the pressure, or I don't know, like, did you change the community that you engage with, or is there any change then, before,
External
after?
pressure, you mean from my social circle, friends, family? That kind
Social circle, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned in the video that like your parents.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't tell your parents
yeah.
about the.
Yeah, my parents still
know.
have no
Yeah.
idea what I'm doing right now.
Maybe they will know by listening to this Slow Starters podcast. We become a big content, and then that goes to
Eventually,
China.
yeah, eventually. Yeah,
Your,
because
maybe your ex-colleagues
Yeah.
are also quite kind of curious to see if you're
Success, or
if you become successful or not. Your friends, your parents.
yeah.
I think you
Oh.
mentioned you had a lot of pressure.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because I think the reason why I feel such pressure is also because I also care about what they think of me, right? So, especially my parents, they are very traditional in that sense, and they care a lot about safety, security, certainty, and all that stuff. So so I knew that they wouldn't be able to accept the fact that I left that job to do what I'm doing right now. And I just feel like it's gonna take a lot of energy from me to try to accept, to try to talk to them, help them, make them accept what I'm doing. And it's probably not possible, it's probably gonna take years. So that's why I made the decision to not tell them, because I really feel like I don't have that bandwidth to deal with this right now. Yeah, in terms of friends, or like past colleagues, acquaintances, definitely there will be people there are like constantly, they maybe they want to quit their jobs too, right? But then they kind of want to see if you're successful, if you succeed or fail, right? So sometimes I had this friend from high school. Every time I see her, and she's always like, so do you regret it? Do you regret it? Yeah, she's always like that. But you can see that she really wanted to quit her job as well. But then she's kind of trying to, maybe seek reassurance that maybe this is not working for her, so I shouldn't quit my job, or the other way around. I don't know.
Yeah.
But then she's always asking questions. Do you regret it? Do you ever think about, looking for another job, stuff like that. And I noticed that I would feel a little triggered every time she asked me questions like that. Then I'll be like, oh yeah, man, maybe I am regretting it. Or I'll be like, why is she asking? Why is she being like this? But yeah, but I try to remind myself that people have these kind of anxieties themselves, so they kind of project that on you. So they'll try to kind of want to find some sort of certainty by observing your life. But the friends who I'm actually close with, they're actually quite supportive in that sense. So yeah. So really, there are like different sides of things.
Got it.
Yeah.
Very interesting, eh?
Yeah.
I actually did tell my parents.
Yeah.
Oh my god, they didn't like it.
You told your parents to quit
they
the
didn't
big
like
job.
it.
Yeah, I remember.
I'm very close to my parents.
That's really good. Yeah.
But they told me that never come back to Tokyo, because I was in somewhere else. I lived in somewhere else that time, not in Tokyo, and they lived in Tokyo. Well, they live in Tokyo, and they were like, never come back here.
Oh.
You were out of this family.
Oh,
Because I was my work was also like very well known popular company, like a TV company.
Okay.
And then she was so happy, like as a Chinese mom,
Yeah.
raised a son who went to the company to work for them, and like such a proud thing.
Oh.
Now I decided to quit, and they're like, I'm not proud of you anymore.
Oh, that's so.
So I decided to go back to Tokyo and then kind of just share like why I quit.
Yeah.
And then they were not happy at first, but then I had to leave Tokyo a day after. So as soon as like I remember like when I was at the airport in Tokyo, I found something in my backpack. It was a letter from my mom.
Oh.
And then my mom was writing a very heartfelt message to me. Like
so sweet.
I'm so happy that you came to talk to us like in person. Like I admire your courage. I am still not convinced that you should quit, but like we're a family. I will support you forever. And I was like crying at the airport by myself. So yeah,
That's super
sweet. That's so
beautiful.
yeah.
Yeah. But what did you say to them? How did you explain it to them?
So basically, when I told them that I want to quit, it was probably like it took 2 months. When I told her for the first time, they were like laughing. Ha, you must be joking.
Yeah.
And then I was laughing, and then I called them again, like the very next day, and they were like, you must be joking. And I was like, I'm not. And they were like, all right, like why don't you just like ask a lot of people for advice? And then I did, and they all said like, you should quit. You should challenge. And then I told them, hey, so the people you want me to ask, they all are very supportive to my decision.
Yeah.
And then my mom was like, they don't have any son. That kind of thought. Like they don't understand like how it feels like having son. But then we kept talking for about like a week, but then they were still not convinced. That's why I went back to Tokyo all of a sudden without telling them. And it was like a worst timing because my dad and my mom were fighting.
Oh.
And then I came in, so it was very chaotic. But
Yeah.
as soon as I read the letter, she was very both of my parents are very like supportive, and so that's why I decided not to complain anything about my work since I quit. I never complain about my like freelance job, even though like it's hard and stuff, because I want to be kind of responsible for my decision. Yeah, so that was a turning point for me, in my life.
Oh,
One
it's
of the
good
biggest
that you
decisions,
can get
yeah.
support from your parents. Yeah, it's yeah, and it's very
and it's also good.
Mm.
Sorry, go on.
No, I mean it's nice that it takes courage for you to right to actually talk to them when they said things that were actually kind of hurtful, right? I'm not
Yeah.
or that can feel that hurt already. Oh my god.
Yeah. I mean, like this is like I think Yuta and I were talking about this before, but like let's say telling like that you quit your job to your parents is a hurricane,
Yeah.
or typhoon.
Yeah.
And then it feels like if I keep running away from typhoon's gonna chase me.
Yeah.
Right? So the feeling of like, I have to tell her, but I don't want to tell her, is always in my heart, like in my mind.
Yeah.
I always like I somehow have pressure. So that's why I decided, you know what? Like I just go towards the hurricane, and just like let the whatever the storm like comes in my life, and then it actually passed by so quicker than I thought. So
you're right.
That's
Actually that's very inspiring to me. Maybe I should talk to my parents. Let me call them now.
One day. You take your time.
Just food for thought. So
yeah, it's really, I think for me it's really having the be be prepared, having myself prepared for the storm, hurricane. It takes time and energy, and I feel like I feel like, oh my God, there's so many other things that I want to do. How long is this gonna last? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But as you said, maybe it would last, much shorter than I thought.
Yeah, there's like a psychologist called David Kessler. We were talking about the other day. He's doing a research of buffalo, like a big cow in the United States, and then he found the pattern of buffalo. There's one pattern that they always do is when the hurricane is created in somewhere like near where they live, they have a tendency to go towards the hurricanes because they know it will go past by much quicker. Yeah, so I think the way we kind of like face the problem is always like maybe we should jump into the storm so that the storm will go away much quicker than we ever thought we could even imagine. So that's our like kind of mentality.
Yeah, definitely. I'm feeling inspired by your story. Now I'm thinking literally when should I tell them in the next few days. I'll let you guys know if I do that.
Yeah, please let us know.
We wish you best for sure. But I think the reason why you are preparing and you want to do well, to tell your parents because you love the parents and the parents love you. So
100%,
I think you are respecting the relationship, so which is good. So you don't have to be, bull immediately. Buffalo.
Buffalo.
You don't have to be buffalo immediately. Take your time.
The one thing I was really inspired from this conversation is that like when she was telling us, when Kate, you were telling us about like, the definition of success, and you were saying like you always have a kind of the thought what kind of like a person you want to become, right? Like even if the work is not doing well, as long as you're a good person, that actually fulfills your like a journey.
That's amazing.
That's the way I want to live my life. But sometimes I also get too attached to the actual results, as we all do, right? Yeah, but I try to really remind myself because really in the end everybody dies, right? You can't take your success with you to the grave. You can't. You just can't do that. So for me, I really believe that we're here as a human being, right? Live this very short life to grow, right? To learn, to kind of evolve, right? Spiritually. So that's really what I believe we can actually take away after we die, right? So that's what I believe.
That's beautiful,
right? But materialistically speaking, all these money, success, fame, nothing you can take away really, right? So when you have it, enjoy it, but then just remember that however money that you have, you still gotta die in the end. So that really sometimes that brings me to reality sometimes, because sometimes I'll be like, okay, once I get that, then I'll be happy. Once I get there, I'll be happy. And the truth is, every time you achieve something that you thought that would make you so happy, you realize, it's actually very, very transient, right? Just this is it. Oh, okay. So now I'm on to the next goal. So it's like a never-ending cycle.
The reason why I'm laughing because I think we have to learn from her. We all the time. There's Ironman, triathlon race. We want to hit 1 million followers or something like that. We always get excited and try to push. I think it's good, but at the same time, we have to remind ourselves life is short, and then if we are happy and the people surrounded by is also happy, I think it's a life. So I think it's a good reminder for us. I think we have to be careful.
Because also I think when you're happy, when you're enjoying your life, you produce better work, right? that when you're not
It's true.
enjoying doing this podcast, when you are not enjoying the conversation, then the people can feel you're not gonna have a good conversation, right? And same with a lot of other kinds of work like comedy also. If I'm just like, suffering, right? I'm making
It's
myself
true.
suffer. I'm exhausted, and I'm not gonna perform well anyway. So I think really it's just it takes a whole life to kind of try to find a balance between how much I want to strive, right, and how much I want
Right.
to rest.
Mm.
Yeah.
Any like a quote or book that you get inspired you have gotten inspired so far?
Yeah, so I've been thinking about that. Actually, my favorite, I think the book that has a really huge impact on me is called The Power of Now. Have you guys heard of the book, The Power of Now?
Power of Now.
No.
I think I have heard of
Eckhart
it.
I've never heard.
Eckhart Tolle. So it talks about what's kind of like a self-help or like a new age philosophy, kind of spiritual kind of a book.
Right.
So it talks about, some of the stuff that I said just now. I got the idea, I think the first time from this book. I read that book when I was at my rock bottom, like maybe 10 years ago, when I just started working, and I was like really just drinking a lot, and then just completely not knowing what the meaning of my life was. So that book, in that book, what inspired me the most was that, you don't we as human beings, we're always kind of worrying about the future or regretting the past, right? So we're never in the present. However, like the now, like this moment right here is really the only thing that we have, right? You're never the
Right.
future, the past, these are all illusions. And but a lot of times our mind takes us to everywhere except the present, to kind of escape from the anxiety that we have, right, in the presence. And and
Mm.
and something that I was just talking about, and was the idea that I got from this book. And then it talks about, we always have, this illusion that, once I achieve something, or once I have this in my life, then I'll be happy, right? We think happiness is a condition that we need to meet, right, in order to be happy. However, it's a common pattern that people, they strive to achieve these things, thinking that they'll be happy after that. But when they achieve that, they'll realize, oh, I'm not happy, still not happy. What's happening? So there must be another goal. There must be another thing I then have to achieve to be happy. So as you achieve this other goal, and you feel, oh yeah, I'm still not happy. So okay, another one then. So I when I read that, I was like, oh, I was mind blown. So yeah, all my life have been like that. I've always, I was always hoping that something in the future can save me from my current suffering, right? And it never worked. It really never worked. Um, and really, really what we can, what we can take to the grave is, the kind of person that you evolved,
Right.
uh, evolved as. And also, the moment by moment journey that you're experiencing, right? Because this moment, if you're whether you enjoy it or not, it's gonna pass, right? So what are you gonna do about it? So that's this is really the book that had a really huge impact on me. But still, I'm not embracing the principles all the time. Yeah, it's
I'm
very
gonna buy it.
difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
like I like how she's also very like humble as well.
Yeah.
She like I think that one of the inspiration that we got from your video is that when you were like telling your story, your depression, your hard times in front of the camera, you didn't sound like life is great. Like the life is full of happiness, so that like I'm very positive now after like experiencing these stuff. No, 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 it's not like that. Everything is still ongoing, you know, like you're trying to understand like you know, the what is happening in my life and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So that actually like gave me a lot of impact in a way, because I have shared. I'm also seeing counselor once a month, twice a month if possible. But I'm not really afraid of like sharing my negativity in front of the camera, or of course to the counselor or to friends like Yuta, because by talking, like I can also analyze like my current position and life. Maybe today is not the day that I feel happiness. Like I feel happy. Maybe tomorrow will be better, or tomorrow will be a little worse. You don't know. But then life goes on, right? And like you said, when you die, that's like when you die, and if you can feel happy there, and you actually, you know, win the life. So that's how I'm actually like thinking, and very have some like a lot of similarities like with what you just said in this podcast and also the YouTube videos.
Yeah, because really life is, because you know, everyone wants to hear the kind of story that, you know, oh yeah, well I quit my job and now I am, you know, so successful, all happy now,
Yeah.
no more, you know, no more negative emotions, no more sadness, no more frustration. It's just not true, honestly. It's probably even more, right? You probably feel more of these emotions. Well, I mean, I feel more intense happiness, and I feel more intense probably sadness,
Right.
frustration, all that stuff. And to me, it's worth it. You know, I don't want to go back. I don't regret my decision at all. But I think what's really important to me is that, you know, now that I'm in control of where my life is going, it's scary, so fucking scary. And sometimes I'm like, why did I even should I even go back? You know, I have this kind of doubts, you know, not a lot these days, but mostly it's like, oh my God, am I ever gonna make it? Am I ever gonna, am I ever gonna, you know, make a living out of, make a good living out of these things? Yeah, but then, what I can say is that I feel more alive, and I feel more, you know, I have more vitality. I feel more vitality in me, you know, you know, as compared to when I was working at that job. You know, when I was working at that job, I had a stable income, but then kind of felt dead inside, you know, because you're kind of like a robot, just, you know, just go to work and then just get the money and go, you know. But now I'm doing a lot of things, making so little money, but I feel like, yeah, I'm alive, you know, and I have these emotions, and it's okay. It's all part of life, you know, part of the journey. If you live a life and then you know that, oh, you're just gonna be all peaceful and happy going forward, isn't it gonna be kind of boring? I don't know, right? I think people, there, when you have sadness, when you have like, you know, anger, frustration, that's when you can you know, when you can treasure the moments that you feel very peaceful and happy.
Actually living,
right?
True.
Yeah.
When you have gone through hardships and then you achieve something, oh, that feels really good, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Moving on to the last question.
Last one,
Yeah. What are the messages you want to convey for those who are hesitating to make their own decision, like such as quitting a job or moving forward, or
I think sometimes the reason why a lot of people, they, you know, they kind of feel stuck, or they just hesitate, you know, they sit on the fence for a very long time before they make a decision like this, is because they take this thing maybe a little bit too seriously than they really should be, right? Because it's not like, okay, once I make a decision that I'm gonna quit my job and I'm gonna try something I like, you know, there's no way back. it's not true, right? You can actually try it, and then you don't like it, you can actually go back and find a job. Nobody's stopping you from doing that,
Yeah.
right? Right? It's like if you're hiking, you see this, you see this route here, and you're like, I'm gonna try that. But you see that it's not going anywhere, just come back, right? So I think expecting that kind of flexibility, or having that kind of flexibility, really can just make you feel more relaxed, right? More relaxed about the decision, right? It's just one step. It's just one step. It's not like a
Yep.
complete change of direction. That's no, there's no revert. There's no revert button. But that's not true. You can always Control Z revert, right? And maybe you're not gonna get, say if you don't work in your field, in your previous field for 2 years, maybe when you go back, you're gonna have to take a salary cut. So what? Right? So what? Because a lot of people have these perfectionism kind of, but I can't take any salary cut. I can't, everything has to be perfect. I think these kind of thinking is really what keeps us, what holds us back, because if you want everything to be perfect, then you're not going to be able to take any risks. But if you want to make changes in life, you want to explore, right? You want to live a expanded life instead of a small life. You're gonna have to take risks, right? And it's okay to, I think it's okay to have like an 80% instead of 100% sometimes, when you have a bigger, variety of experiences. That's just my philosophy.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to sign up the coaching session now by Kate. I think many people do.
Yeah. You do also relationship coach as well?
Yeah. So my main area of coaching.
Tats loves that probably.
Yeah, my main area is
Tats wants to ask things. Yeah.
Yeah, my main area of coaching is dating and relationship, but I'm trained as a life coach, so I do, it's everything is very interconnected. If you don't understand if you don't understand yourself that much, if you don't know what kind of life you want to live, what kind of person you want to be, what kind of values you want to live by, then it's also going to be hard for you to find a partner, right? Who can build that life together with you. So yeah, but my main focus is on dating and relationships. Yeah.
Well, it's already like past an hour.
1 hour, yeah.
Yeah, it's been fun.
It went so fast
It's
though.
full of
It went very fast.
full of inspirations.
Yeah. Just to wrap up, I wanted to say this.
Okay.
So Kate is now doing a comedy show in Hong Kong. So whoever listening to this episode, if you go to Hong Kong, please go to her, comedy shows and follow her on Instagram, YouTube. But at the same time, our dream is to have a live comedy show in Tokyo with Kate and then Meshida maybe.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Or even like a podcast recording.
Yeah. In
public
person.
recording.
Yeah.
That'd be
Hopefully
so
we can
fun
do that.
actually. If
Yeah.
we are both, me and Mishida, we're both on the podcast. We can talk about the
Yeah.
Hong
It's so damn true. Yeah.
You know Meshida, right? You know Meshida.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know him in person. No, I've never talked to him in person.
Yeah.
I follow him on social media. Yeah.
Is he funny?
Yeah, very funny. I think he's very funny. Yeah.
Good to hear that.
He makes these videos to introduce Japanese culture to foreigners, I think, and I follow those things. Yeah, he's
In a very unique way. Hey.
very unique. Yeah, it's a very unique sense of humor. Sometimes maybe that's the Japanese humor. It's kind of
Interesting.
100%.
We love Meshida too, so we can do a comedy show too.
Yeah, he has this dry humor, very dry.
True.
Yeah.
Well, Kate, thank you very much for taking your time to be on this show, and
Absolutely.
we really are so grateful to have you here. And like Yuta said, hopefully we can do a recording again, like next time in person. You know,
Oh yeah, for
whenever
sure.
like when we
Maybe
have a chance
we
to
go
go
to Hong Kong too.
Yeah,
Oh
We
yeah,
maybe
yeah.
go to Hong Kong too.
Or
we
I'll
would love to
visit
watch your
Tokyo
show as
sometime.
well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That'd be
Absolutely.
great,
Thank
too.
you so much for inviting me. I really enjoyed the conversation. You guys asked many good
Glad.
questions. And your experience, Tattoo, your experience, your upbringing, that was so interesting. And your
Oh, I'm
how you
flattered,
told
thank
your
you.
mom about the fact that you yeah, I'll let you guys know if I actually take action.
Please. Best of luck.
Yes, you guys too.
All right. So thanks for listening to our show again. We are very happy.
Happy, very inspired.
Yeah, very inspired, and we would like to follow her journey as well from now on. So we'll see each other
Next week.
next week. Yep.
So we're gonna say 3, 2, 1. So start.
Oh yeah. So by the end of the show, we always say slow starters. So
Okay.
Yuta's gonna give you a cue. So can we say slow starters on
Okay.
3, 2, 1? Yeah. Okay.
I do like 3, 2, 1. Slow starters. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
With a nicer voice.
Nice.
With
Like,
like a sexy, dandy
Sexy
voice.
vo-
Yeah. Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Slow starters.
Was that good?
There's echo, but it's okay. It's okay.
Good, yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for.
Thank you.
so much.
Thank
Well,
you, Kate.
Have a good day. Yeah, we'll stay in touch.
You too.
You too.
Yeah,
All right,
for sure.
bye, Yuta.
100%.
Bye, Tatsu. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye. Ciao, ciao.
Kate.